On a distant planet called Veridonia, the sky glimmered with shades of purple and blue. It was a beautiful place, full of strange plants and creatures. The buildings sparkled under the light of 3 suns. However, in this vibrant world, one alien felt very lonely. Her name was Lyra. She had long, shimmering silver hair and bright green eyes that sparkled like stars. While everyone around her seemed happy, she felt a deep emptiness inside. Lyra lived in a big, fancy home with her family. They were proud of their advanced technology and knowledge. Yet no matter how much her family loved her, Lyra often felt that they did not understand her. They talked about achievements and goals, but all she wanted was someone who could truly connect with her feelings. Every day, she watched her friends laughing and playing together, and her heart ached. She felt like a beautiful flower growing in a garden, but no one noticed her. One day, while wandering in a colorful forest filled with glowing flowers, Lyra found a strange device half buried in the ground. It was small and shiny, with buttons that lit up in different colors. Curious, she picked it up and pressed one of the buttons. Suddenly, a bright beam of light shot out, and a soft voice filled the air. "Connecting to Earth. Searching for life signs?" Lyra gasped. "Earth?" She had heard stories about this distant planet, filled with strange beings called humans. As the device continued to buzz, it picked up sounds and images from Earth. Lyra saw pictures of green trees, blue oceans, and smiling humans. Her heart raced with excitement. These humans looked so different from her, but they seemed full of life and joy. She wanted to learn more about them. The thought of finding love and friendship made her feel alive for the first time. That night, Lyra lay awake in her room staring at the stars outside her window. The light from her 3 suns faded and the universe sparkled brightly. She thought about her life on Veridonia. It was beautiful, but it felt empty. She wanted to escape her lonely world and find someone who could understand her. The thought of traveling to Earth filled her with hope and fear. What if she found someone special? What if she never came back? As the suns rose the next morning, Lyra made a decision. She would leave Veridonia and travel to Earth. She gathered supplies, including her favorite books and some food. With her heart pounding, she approached her parents and told them her plan. They looked shocked. "Lyra, you don't know anything about Earth." "It could be dangerous," her mother said, worry in her eyes. "But I need to go." "I can't stay here anymore. I'm so lonely," Lyra replied, her voice shaking. Her father sighed, knowing how strong-willed she was. After a long discussion, they finally agreed to help her prepare for the journey. They provided her with a small spaceship that could take her to Earth. The day of departure arrived. Lyra stood in front of her family and friends, tears in her eyes. She knew she would miss them, but her heart felt heavy with hope. "I will find love. I will find someone who understands me," she declared, trying to convince herself. With a last wave, she climbed into her spaceship. The engines roared to life, and she felt a mix of fear and excitement. As she soared through the stars, the beauty of the universe surrounded her. Lyra looked out of the window, watching her home planet fade away. She thought about the adventures that awaited her and the possibility of finding someone special on Earth. With each passing moment, her heart filled with hope. She was no longer just an alien, she was a seeker, ready to discover love in a new world. Little did she know that her journey would lead her to the most unexpected and wonderful connection of her life. The loneliness she felt would soon be replaced by something magical, something she had been searching for all along. Lyra's spaceship soared through the stars, leaving the purple skies of Veridonia far behind. She felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as she traveled toward the unknown. After many hours of flying, she finally spotted Earth. The planet looked like a beautiful blue and green marble, shining under the light of a distant sun. As she got closer, her heart raced. When Lyra's spaceship landed softly in a quiet park, she took a deep breath and opened the door. The fresh air filled her lungs, and she stepped out onto the green grass. Everything looked so alive. The trees were tall and lush, and colorful flowers bloomed all around her. Birds sang sweetly in the branches above, and she could hear the laughter of children playing in the distance. At first, Lyra felt overwhelmed. The colors, sounds, and smells were all so different from her home. She glanced at her reflection in the shiny surface of her spaceship. Her silver hair shone brightly in the sunlight, and her green eyes sparkled with wonder. She felt both beautiful and out of place. What would the humans think of her? As she explored the park, she saw people walking, jogging, and enjoying picnics. A group of children played with a colorful ball, their laughter echoing through the air. Lyra smiled at their joy, but deep inside she felt a little sad. She wanted to join them, to laugh and play. She took a few steps forward, trying to gather the courage to approach them. Just then, a loud crash caught her attention. A young man stumbled nearby, tripping over a tree root. He dropped his camera and it fell to the ground with a thud. "Oh no!" he exclaimed, rushing to pick it up. Lyra could see he had messy brown hair and warm brown eyes. He looked a bit clumsy but kind-hearted. Feeling a spark of bravery, Lyra walked over. "Are you okay?" she asked, her voice soft but clear. The man looked up, startled. His eyes widened as he saw her. "Whoa! Are you an alien?" he asked, his mouth hanging open in surprise. Lyra felt a mix of fear and excitement. "Yes, I am," she replied, smiling shyly. "I came from another planet." The man, whose name was Jake, laughed in disbelief. "This is unbelievable! I thought aliens were just in movies." He stood up, brushing dirt off his clothes. "I'm Jake. What's your name?" "Lyra," she said, feeling her heart flutter. Their eyes met, and she felt a strange connection. "I just arrived here. I wanted to explore your world." "Welcome to Earth, Lyra," Jake said, grinning. "You picked a great place to start. This park is one of my favorites." Jake then offered to show Lyra around. They walked together, and he pointed out different plants and animals. "This is a rose," he said, bending down to smell one. "And that's a squirrel. They're always looking for food." Lyra watched him with fascination, learning about Earth's wonders through his eyes. As they strolled, Lyra opened up about her journey. She shared stories of her lonely life on Veridonia, how she dreamed of finding love and connection. Jake listened intently, his expression shifting from surprise to understanding. "You're brave to come all this way," he said. "I can't imagine leaving everything behind." Lyra felt a warmth in her chest. For the first time, someone was truly listening to her. They sat on a bench under a tall tree, watching the people around them. Jake told her about his love for photography and his dreams of traveling the world. "Maybe one day I'll take pictures in space," he joked, glancing at her with a twinkle in his eye. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Lyra felt a deep sense of happiness. She had found a friend in Jake, someone who made her feel seen and valued. The loneliness she had carried for so long began to fade away. But deep down, Lyra also felt a flicker of worry. She knew her time on Earth could be limited. Her people might come searching for her, and she feared what would happen if they found her. Still, in this moment, all that mattered was the connection she was forming with Jake and the beauty of the world around her. As night fell and stars filled the sky, Lyra realized she was exactly where she was meant to be, on Earth, beginning a new adventure with someone who understood her heart. As the days turned into weeks, Lyra and Jake grew closer. Every day, Lyra explored a new part of Earth with him. They visited bustling cities, serene beaches, and peaceful mountains. Each new experience filled Lyra with joy and wonder. She marveled at how different Earth was from Veridonia. Here, nature was alive, vibrant, and full of surprises. One sunny afternoon, they visited a beautiful lake surrounded by trees. The water sparkled like diamonds in the sunlight. Jake brought his camera, eager to capture the beauty around them. "Let's take a picture together," he said with excitement. Lyra felt a rush of happiness. "Okay," she replied, her heart fluttering. They stood by the water's edge, smiling brightly. Jake set the camera on a nearby rock and rushed to stand next to Lyra. As the camera clicked, she felt a warmth spread through her. It was a moment of pure joy, and she knew she wanted to hold on to it forever. After taking several photos, they settled down on the grass to enjoy lunch. Jake unpacked a picnic filled with sandwiches, fruits, and snacks. "Try this," he said, offering her a piece of juicy watermelon. Lyra hesitated, unsure if her alien body would like it. But the delicious smell drew her in, and she took a bite. The sweetness burst in her mouth, making her smile even wider. "It's amazing," she exclaimed. As they ate, they talked about their lives, hopes, and dreams. Lyra learned about Jake's family and his love for photography. He shared stories of his adventures, and Lyra shared tales of her life on Veridonia. She described the beautiful glowing plants and the strange creatures that roamed her world. Jake listened with fascination, his eyes shining with curiosity. But as their bond deepened, Lyra noticed something troubling. Although she felt happy with Jake, misunderstandings began to creep in. One day, while walking in a busy market, Lyra saw a group of children playing with a ball. She rushed over to join them, excited to play. But when the children saw her, they ran away, screaming in surprise. Lyra felt her heart sink. "What's wrong?" she asked, confused. Jake quickly followed her, a look of concern on his face. "They probably don't understand what you are," he said gently. "You look different from them." Lyra's cheeks flushed with embarrassment. She had thought the children would see her as a friend, not a monster. She turned away, tears filling her eyes. "I don't belong here," she whispered. Jake reached out to comfort her. "You do belong, Lyra. Just give them time. Not everyone knows about aliens." He placed a hand on her shoulder, and she felt his warmth seep into her heart. "Let's show them you're friendly. We can play with the ball together." Determined to try again, they walked back to the children. Jake explained that Lyra was a visitor from another planet. The children looked skeptical but intrigued. "Can she play with us?" one brave child asked. Jake nodded, and Lyra smiled, feeling hopeful again. Slowly, the children returned, and they all began to play together. Lyra threw the ball, and the kids laughed as they ran after it. The joy of playing melted away her worries. She felt accepted for who she was, not just as an alien, but as a friend. Later that evening, as they sat under the stars, Lyra reflected on the day. "Thank you for helping me," she said to Jake, her voice soft. "You make me feel like I can belong here." Jake smiled warmly, his eyes glimmering like the stars above. "You're special, Lyra. Don't ever forget that. No matter where you come from, friendship can break any barrier." As they sat together in silence, Lyra realized how much she had grown to care for Jake. Their connection was becoming something more than just friendship. She felt a flutter in her heart when she thought of him, and she wondered if he felt the same way. But as the moon rose high in the sky, a shadow of doubt crossed her mind. Would her people accept her choice to stay on Earth? Would they understand her love for a human? She shook her head, pushing the worries aside. For now, she wanted to enjoy this moment, surrounded by friendship and the warmth of Jake's presence. Lyra knew their journey was just beginning, filled with adventures and challenges, but she was ready to face them, as long as Jake was by her side. Together, they would explore not just the beauty of Earth, but the depths of their hearts. As weeks turned into months, Lyra and Jake's bond grew stronger. They explored more of Earth together, from stunning mountains to busy cities. Each new experience deepened their connection. But as they enjoyed their time, Lyra couldn't shake a feeling of uncertainty. She knew her time on Earth was limited, and she had a difficult choice to make. One evening, while watching the sunset on the beach, Lyra felt a rush of emotions. The sky was painted in beautiful hues of orange and pink, and the sound of waves crashing against the shore was calming. Jake sat beside her, his expression thoughtful. "What's on your mind, Lyra?" he asked gently. Lyra turned to him, her heart racing. "I've been thinking a lot about home," she admitted. "I love it here, but I can't forget about my people." Jake looked at her, concern etched on his face. "Do you want to go back?" Lyra took a deep breath. "I don't know. Part of me wants to stay here with you. I've never felt this way before. But I also miss Veridonia." Jake's expression softened. "You have to do what feels right for you, but know that you are welcome here. You belong." Lyra felt a warmth in her heart at his words. She leaned closer, wanting to hold on to this moment forever. But the thought of leaving haunted her. Would her people accept her after spending so much time away? What if they thought she had betrayed them? Days passed, and Lyra couldn't shake her anxiety. One day, while wandering through a vibrant market, she overheard two aliens discussing a gathering. They spoke of their home planet and how their people were searching for Lyra. Her heart dropped. She realized that her time was running out. Feeling overwhelmed, Lyra confided in Jake. "I heard some other aliens talking. They are looking for me. I think I have to make a decision soon." Jake frowned, his brows knitted in concern. "What will you do?" "I don't know," Lyra replied, tears filling her eyes. "I want to stay with you, but I don't want to abandon my people." Jake took her hands, looking deeply into her eyes. "You're torn, I can see that. But remember, your happiness matters too. You deserve to choose what makes you happy." Lyra nodded, feeling grateful for Jake's support. "I know you're right. but I need to talk to my people before making a decision. Determined to find clarity, Lyra contacted her home planet using her spaceship's communication device. She felt a mix of fear and hope as she sent a message. "This is Lyra from Veridonia. I am on Earth. I need to know if I am still accepted." The response came quickly. A hologram of a tall figure appeared before her. It was her mother, looking both proud and worried. "Lyra, we thought we lost you. Your people are searching for you. We miss you." Lyra felt tears spill from her eyes. "I found something special on Earth, Mom. I've met someone who means a lot to me." Her mother's expression softened, but there was still a hint of concern. "We understand that you may feel different, but you must return to Veridonia. Your duty is here." Lyra's heart sank. "But what if I don't want to leave?" "I've never felt this way before." "Love is important, but so is your responsibility to your people," her mother replied. "You are the future of Veridonia. You cannot forget that." After the call ended, Lyra sat in silence, her heart heavy with indecision. Jake found her sitting on the beach, staring at the waves. "What did they say?" he asked softly. "They want me to come home. They need me," Lyra replied, her voice trembling. "But I don't want to leave you." Jake sat beside her, placing an arm around her shoulders. "You need to follow your heart, Lyra. If you stay, you can build a life with me. If you go, you can help your people." Lyra looked out at the horizon, the sun slowly sinking below the waves. She felt a pull in two directions. She cherished her time with Jake, but she couldn't ignore her duty to her planet. Finally, she took a deep breath and turned to Jake. "I need to think about this more. I want to make the right choice, but I need time." Jake nodded, understanding her struggle. "Take all the time you need. I'll be here, no matter what you decide." As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Lyra knew her decision wouldn't be easy, but she felt grateful for Jake's support. She would need to find a way to honor both her heart and her responsibilities. The choice before her was daunting, but she was determined to choose wisely. After days of deep thought, Lyra finally felt ready to make her choice. The weight of her decision pressed heavily on her heart, but she knew she had to follow her true feelings. As she stood on the beach one final time, the sun rising over the horizon, she felt a surge of determination. Jake joined her, sensing the change in her mood. "You look different today," he remarked, his eyes filled with curiosity. Lyra smiled, her heart racing. "I've made my decision, Jake." "What is it?" he asked, leaning in closer. "I want to stay here on Earth with you," she declared. "I've never felt this way about anyone before, and I believe that our love can bridge the gap between our worlds." Jake's face lit up with joy. "Really? You mean it?" "Yes," Lyra exclaimed, a wave of happiness washing over her. "I want to create a new life here together." Jake pulled her into a warm embrace, and Lyra felt safe in his arms. The fear and uncertainty that had haunted her for weeks melted away. She realized that love was worth fighting for, and she was ready to embrace this new beginning. As they walked along the shore, hand in hand, Lyra began to imagine their future together. They would explore the wonders of Earth, learn from each other, and grow stronger as a couple. But she knew she also needed to share her decision with her people. That evening, Lyra sat down with her communication device once more, her heart racing as she prepared to reach out to Veridonia. She wanted to explain her choice, hoping they would understand. After a few moments, her mother's hologram flickered to life, looking concerned. "Lyra, we've been waiting for your answer," her mother said. Taking a deep breath, Lyra spoke firmly. "Mom, I've made my choice. I want to stay on Earth with Jake." Her mother's eyes widened in shock. "But Lyra, your duty is to your people. You are meant to lead us." "I understand that, but I can still be a part of Veridonia from here. Love is powerful, and Jake makes me feel alive. I want to explore this connection." Her mother hesitated, the silence stretching between them. "You may face challenges, Lyra. Humans are different. They may not understand your background." "I know, but I believe we can learn from each other," Lyra replied, her voice steady. "I can still help our people from here, sharing knowledge and experiences." Her mother sighed, the weight of the moment pressing heavily on them. "If this is truly what you want, I will support you. But remember, you are always welcome to return." "Thank you, Mom," Lyra said, feeling tears of relief and joy in her eyes. "I won't forget my roots, but I need to follow my heart." As the communication ended, Lyra felt a rush of hope. She had made her choice, and now she could truly embrace her new life with Jake. Over the next few weeks, Lyra and Jake explored the world together, discovering the beauty of their unique cultures. Lyra introduced Jake to the wonders of Veridonia through stories, while he showed her the magic of Earth, its music, art, and nature. One evening under a starlit sky, Jake surprised Lyra with a picnic. They sat on a blanket surrounded by twinkling fairy lights. Jake pulled out a small box and handed it to her. "Open it," he urged, excitement sparkling in his eyes. With trembling hands, Lyra opened the box to reveal a delicate silver bracelet shimmering in the moonlight. "It's beautiful," she gasped, her heart swelling with emotion. "I wanted you to have something special to remind you of our love," Jake said, smiling. "No matter where life takes us, this is a symbol of our connection." Lyra slipped the bracelet onto her wrist, feeling its cool metal against her skin. "Thank you, Jake. I'll cherish it forever." As they shared a tender kiss, Lyra felt a sense of belonging wash over her. She knew that despite the challenges they would face, they could overcome anything together. Their love was a bridge between worlds, and they were ready to embark on this journey hand in hand. In that moment, Lyra understood that a new beginning awaited her, one filled with love, adventure, and endless possibilities. Together, they would write their own story, a tale of unity and acceptance in a vast universe.